Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. It is time for Freedom by Design Wisdom Wednesday. I pray that you are already having a great morning because I most definitely am. So, good morning, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Good morning, Lynn. As you come on, do me a favor. Go ahead and like and share for me. Like and share. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, it is time for us to see what's up with this word for this morning. And the topic is crutches. And I know y'all probably like, oh Lord, this girl done did something to herself. Has she hurt herself? I have not. All is well. I'm excited about what God is saying to us today because this thing has been just kind of marinating in my spirit this morning as I have been preparing to come on live. So good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey Princess, hey Michonne, good morning, good morning, good morning. Please do me a favor when you come on, like or love and share. Like or love and share. Today is Wednesday, so many great things going on. I want to make sure that I tell you on the front end. Good morning, Karen. That today is Wednesday, so we got Unfiltered at 9 o'clock a.m. with Bernadette Clark Wright, BC Wright. I'm excited. You know, you can follow her on YouTube at the BC Wright. So, and also on Facebook as well. You can see it on both platforms. Good morning, Mom. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Crutches, crutches, crutches. I know when I say that, you're probably like, oh my goodness, did somebody get hurt? Well, nobody got hurt. I'm over here, me and my post-it notes, about to get it together. So don't even worry. I'm about to break that thing down the way that he downloaded to me. So this morning, I want to start off by definitely just saying, telling God, thank you. And I just want to say, Lord, thank you this morning for what you're about to do. I know that somebody is going to hear this word and it is going to touch their soul the way it touched mine. So I pray that you remove all of Trina out so that I can speak the word the way that you have downloaded it to me with each and every point that you have given me, Lord. I pray blessings over every family that's represented on this live right now and those who will watch it later, Lord. I ask that you cover them, uplift them, Lord. You know each and every one of our needs, and I know that you will meet us where our needs are, Lord. So I thank you for your grace and your mercy. In your son, Jesus' name I pray, amen, amen, and amen. Bam. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Good morning, Gifty. Good morning, good morning. So, have you ever had to walk on crutches? Have you ever been around somebody closely who has had to walk on crutches? It is amazing how quickly we become dependent on a thing. So, I remember a time that I personally had to walk on crutches, actually 2 times. And I also remember when my son had to walk on crutches. And this morning, when God was talking to me, I'm like, okay, so why am I telling them about, when I had this bunion surgery on my foot, and I had two, so I had it on both feet. But one time when I was in Florida, when I was living before I moved to Georgia, and then again in about 2000 and I want to say it must have been 2009. Yeah, it was 2009. So, good morning, Browder. Good morning. So, what I remember is that I got on my crutches and I was looking for the crutches. The funny thing about my initial foot surgery, the first one that I had, they didn't give me crutches. So I was like, okay, you just broke my foot and put it back together. I got titanium screws in my foot. How am I going to walk? And they were like, you're just going to walk. But you know me, because I felt like in my mind, good morning, Deborah, I could not walk. I was like, let me find some crutches. And in my mom's garage, there was an extra pair of crutches. Why they were there, have no idea, but I used those crutches. And then I remember when I came here to Georgia in 2009 and I had to have surgery on my other foot. And it was a little more extensive because they did a few more things. I had pins in my feet and, they did give me crutches. But what they were very clear about is I would not be on the crutches long. And in my mind, I couldn't wrap my head around it because I'm like, my feet are swollen. I see a pin coming through my foot. And during this time, I'm getting ready to fly home to Miami to go to the home going for my stepdad. I got to be there for my mama. I'm like, Lord, I just had surgery on Thursday and earlier in the week, and I'm flying home on Thursday, and I'm thinking about the pressure and how that blood is, running to my foot and how it's going to be so horrible. And it was a whole fool. Then I thought about my son in high school, his senior year, first football game, and my son has been playing football since he was 4 years old. He is the quarterback. He went into the year, his team is expected to go to state. He has colleges looking at him. He's receiving letters. We like in the thick of it. It's about to go down in a major way. And 54 seconds left in the first half of the game, he took a cheap shot running out and tore his ACL. Senior football season, offers stop, because this is an ACL tear. He has not signed or committed to anyone. So it wasn't like they would uphold their commitment and bring him in and help him get healed. We had to do that. So we went through the surgery. We went through physical therapy. He ended up going to college. He ended up getting a break. He ended up getting a preferred walk-on. But the mental aspect of dealing with those crutches. Good morning, Miss Jerry. Good morning. And when I started looking this morning, I said, so what is it about crutches? What do they do? So I just told you about me, my situation, and my son. Both of us needing crutches. And I'm gonna get back to it. So I want to put a pin in it right there. Crutches provide temporary support to allow you to take the weight off of one or both of your legs. Keyword: temporary support. Good morning, Sabrina. That means that you're not supposed to stay on the crutches forever. We're not supposed to take the crutches and now it's become a part of who we are, an extension of our legs. It's not that. The crutches are just temporary. It's for immediately after the surgery procedure, so that you don't put unnecessary weight on your foot, leg, whatever it might be. Now, there are some dangers in crutches. Although crutches are meant to provide you with some temporary support, they're also dangerous, just like anything else. And you have to think in your mind, what is a crutch for you? Now, I will tell you, when I had that surgery on both of my feet, I babied those feet just like most of you are. And even when I think back to my son going through physical therapy and all of those different things, there was some babying to it, because when we hurt a thing, when it's painful, we want to try to avoid the pain. But if we avoid the pain, we avoid the healing. Come on, Holy Ghost. So understand that you're going to have to deal with the pain. The pain is natural, is normal. You're going to have to take not say, okay, I'm gonna just lean on the crutches and not put any pressure on my foot. I had to put the pressure on my foot in order for me to get to where I was going, in order for me to start the healing process. If I always just kept my foot up, it would never heal, or it would heal incorrectly, because it's gonna heal. It's just gonna heal incorrectly. And I was thinking about that thing, and I was like, there's some dangers in crutches, just like crutches in our life. Crutches can cause what they call crutch paralysis, because you have damaged the nerve endings under your arm. And now, you know what? I can't eat. Now I done messed up here because I was trying to fix something or work it out on the other side, trying not to deal with the pain. Then it can be skin irritation. You've seen people with crutches and they have towels wrapped around the top of the crutch and they're walking with those things, or even their hands, because it's like, oh my goodness, I'm squeezing so tight, my hands are hurting. So it's important, guys, that we realize crutches are, like I said, they provide temporary support to allow you to take the weight off one or both of your legs. It's temporary. You don't keep them forever. You don't keep them hanging on the side of your door as a reminder. If I need it, it's there. You got to remove the crutches, whatever that crutch is in your life, whatever that thing is you keep going back to, because we have to make sure that we're doing what we need to do. Now, some of us use other people's crutches. Like I said, when I had that first surgery in Miami, I'm like, these people not giving me no crutches. How I'm gonna walk? Well, the doctors knew what I didn't. I had to put the pressure on my foot. I've gone into the garage I got a pair of crutches that were in the house. Don't know who they were for, but they weren't for me. So I had to adjust them and make sure they were right. They weren't fitted for me because my doctor didn't prescribe that for me. I took it upon myself to find those crutches and use it as a help for me. When I went back to the doctor the following week, they were wondering why I wasn't healing the way I was supposed to be healing. And they said, well, have you been putting any pressure on that foot? And I said, no, because it hurts. And they're like, wait a minute. Just like you said, Miss Jerry, no pain, no gain. No. There is going to be some pain. That's why we gave you the pain medication. I'm like, no, I didn't want to take the pain medication because I'm afraid I might get addicted, because I keep hearing people say, oh, if you take the pain medication too long, you'll get addicted. And what the doctor said, no, the pain medication, you're not going to become addicted to it. That's so that you can put pressure on the foot and you can be able to bear it while it's in the early healing stages. There's going to be some pain. That's normal. That's expected. And God was like, in the process, yeah, it's going to be some pain. Yes, did I want to have my feet broken? And I did it voluntarily. My son's situation was involuntary. So it's like, you know what? No, I didn't, but I needed to, because if I wouldn't have had the surgery on my foot, I was in more pain when I was putting on shoes, when I was running, when I was exercising. So God says, either way, it's going to be some pain. So you got to understand that's a part of the process. That's going to build up your intestinal fortitude so that you can take the pain that you're going to have later on, because you're going to have a life not filled with pain, but it's going to be some pit stops where you have to deal with pain in your life. I don't care how you try to slice it or dice it, you're going to have some pit stops of pain. There are going to be some seasons where you have to deal with pain. And, you know, I was thinking about that thing. And for my son, that season for him was his high school senior football season, his high school senior year. Understand the pain that he had to go through in that season as a young man. He's watching all of his friends get recruited. You got the team that my son was on, from him being a 10-year-old at Welcome Park, they were phenomenal. These boys were all projected to do major things, and they did. They went to places like University of Georgia, Fresno State, Duke. They went to University of Miami. They went to all of these different schools and colleges. He's watching his friends. They're at the All-Star Army Bowl, all of these different things, and he's there on crutches. Imagine mentally what that did to him. But that was preparing him for his walk later. We didn't see it then because I was frustrated. I was hurt. I was angry. I'm like, Lord, why would this happen? This is his time. And God was like, no, this is his time for what I'm taking him through right now. So you don't have to worry. I got this. I'm God. I do this better than anybody and by myself. And then I had myself, when I had my foot broken the second time, I'm like, Lord, I would have never had the surgery had I known that my stepdad was going to pass a couple days later. We got to bury him. He was like, no, you're supposed to be going through this physical pain right now while you're going through this internal pain as well. I'm like, well, dog, I wouldn't have did this. I got to help my mama. And he said, you're going to be able to help your mama, but you're going to be able to do it walking in that funeral on them crutches, on that airplane when that pressure goes up and you feel a different level of pain. And I'm like, okay, well, you're going to give me some accommodations? And God said, yeah, I am. He let me sit in the first row of that airplane so my foot could be propped up and everything worked out. I didn't pay for that extra ticket, but God worked that thing out. They made sure that I was comfortable because it was going to be some additional pressure. So that's why we got to realize and understand it's going to be some pit stops of pain. Stop trying to avoid it. You've already had some. Stop trying to stay in the pit stop. It's time for us to get going. Just like any race, any car race, you see what happens in the pit. You come in, you get fueled up, you get new tires, they get you going and you back out. You're not meant to stay in the pits of pain. You're supposed to get what you need to get from the pit and carry on about your race. And you can't slow down. You can only stop right here, pick it up and say, okay, Lord, I'm back at it. I'm going. We got to make sure, absolutely, Karen, we trust his process. His timing is perfect. I promise you. You got to let go of those crutches. I don't care what happened in the past. God is saying it don't matter what you've been through. It don't matter what you did. It doesn't matter how bad it was. You got to let go of the crutches. You got to stop holding on to those emotional crutches because we were not meant to walk with no limp. We were not meant to walk with a limp. Let go of the crutches and trust the healing. Trust the process. Yeah, it's going to hurt a little bit. I can remember that phase of getting myself situated. It was also doing testing, and I'm like, okay, Lord, how am I gonna do this? Well, it went from walking with the thing on my foot right after surgery. Then I had a boot. Then I went from the boot to a flat shoe. And then I went from the flat shoe to I was able to wear a shoe with a little more incline, because back then a sister wanted to wear heels. I didn't want to wear no flat shoes. And the flat shoes I had to wear weren't the little cute ones. Everything had to have a square toe, because I had not only foot bunion surgery, I had some stuff done with my toes. So I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be horrible. Then I went to tennis shoes because I needed some more protection. Well, the tennis shoe was before the flat shoe. I needed a little more protection. So now I'm walking around in dresses and suits, and I got on tennis shoes. But sister had to go get some cute shoes. I had to go get some comfortable shoes. So I was like, okay, I can't wear the Nikes because they're too narrow. I had to get some New Balance. But hey, I had to do what I had to do, because God was saying, in this season, I'm going to remove all that vanity. I'm going to remove everything from you. You still who you are without any of that. And I'm going to take it away from you, and I'm going to give you back some things slowly. So it didn't happen in my time. It didn't happen quickly. I still had to deal with it. Same thing with my son. His deliverance didn't happen quickly. He had to go to physical therapy. And the funny thing about it was, one of his friends actually had the same injury at the same time as him. But this young man, I believe, was committed to Oregon State. So they flew him up early. They was getting him taken care of. And, my son is like, well, dog, Mom, and one of his friends said, it's just not fair, because you all are doing what you got to do to help him. No, and I realized it was fair. That was the journey God wanted us to take. Keenan had to be battle tested very early on so that he could be prepared for life when he got out of college, for life when he went from the first college where he was a preferred walk-on to the junior college where he had to, work some things out, to where he got the full scholarship up at Seton Hill University. And then he would later be able to graduate. There were some pit stops. There were some adversities. He was seeing everybody else thriving, flourishing. We're watching all of these other things go on. And he's like, well, what about me? But your time is coming. And during that time, myself, my mom, we had to pray over my son, and we had to pour into him. My husband, we had to be there. His father, his grandmother, his other grandmother, we had to lift him up. But it did something for us too, because what we realized is he wasn't going to need them crutches forever. He didn't need us forever. He would yet and still grow and become a young man and have to make decisions, have to be able to deal with pain and adversity and conflict on his own. So, I thought about that thing. I was reading, Victoria Osteen said, you may have been hurt, but you're well on your way to recovery. I don't know what your hurt is. Your hurt might be real fresh as yesterday. Your hurt might be from a mother, a brother, a sister, a husband, a wife, a colleague. It might have been real bad. It might have been public hurt and public shame. I dealt with a little bit of that too. But God says you need to deal with the pain right now, but don't sit in the pit stop of the pain. Don't stay there. Learn the lesson, get what you need, and move on. Learn the lesson, get what you need, and move on. Because the next time you have to stop at that pit stop of pain, you'll be able to say, hey, I recognize this. I was in that pit stop for about 2 or 3 months or 2 or 3 years. I can't sit there that long this time, because I realize God got something else for me when I get myself back together. So I can't sit over here too long. I got to come in, get refreshed, rejuvenated, and I got to go ahead and get back. And this time when I'm in the pit stop, I know who's in the pit stop with me. It's just not the people who are patching and fixing me up, but God has sent them, and he is with me the whole time. So I don't have to worry about it. And then I thought about Colossians 2:7. It says, walk in him, rooted and built up in him, and established in faith. So if I know whose I am, I know which direction I'm going. I know that he has not built me to walk on no crutches. He has not built me to be independent, to be dependent on other things, to be dependent on what people say about me, what people think about me. Because at the end of the day, he has given me peace in my heart. He says, sister, daughter, I got you. This is just temporary. Forgive them, because they don't know. They don't have a clue or idea of what I told you, because this is your journey. This is your walk. So understand, everybody Somebody might not be able to empathize or sympathize with you. It's okay. They're not supposed to, because God gave the vision to you. He dropped it in your spirit. When he says to go share and tell it to somebody else, you go do that. You just right, Yvonne. Keep your eyes focused on him. Keep your ears open to him. Keep your eyes open, your ears here and here. Keep your ears and yourself focused. Understand, this is just for a season. Don't worry about the pins, the pressure, and the crutches. It's going to be okay. Don't get comfortable walking with a limp. I can remember seeing my son. He went through the physical therapy. He even went and got the outside training. He went to aqua therapy. He did all of that. And some of it was so painful. It was hard for him to even lift his leg up. But we knew that was mental. He could do it. He was just anticipating what that pain was going to be. And when he got to the point that he was like, you know what, I can take the pain, because what he saw in the end was he wanted to go to school. He wanted to pursue his dreams. He wanted to have an opportunity to play football again. And God had already said he was going to have that opportunity. And he did. He had many more years of playing football, but he needed to go through that pain so that he wouldn't get comfortable where he was, to understand that there were going to be some pit stops of pain, but he would be able to get through it. It took Keenan about a year and a half before he walked without that limp, because even though he had gotten better, even though the physical therapist has said, you're good, you're ready to go, mentally he still was holding on, and he was walking with that limp. So much so when we got to Norfolk State and they saw him, they were like, yeah, he's they put him on that first year they did a red shirt for him. So he was there, he was walking, he was able to run, but he had to learn to trust that knee, that leg again. And the thing about it made me think about that movie with Queen Latifah and Common, when she told him, you gotta trust your knee. Your knee is fine, it's rebuilt. We saw the images, the tissue, everything, it's rebuilt. Now you mentally gotta let it go. And that's what God is saying to us. He's saying that we can't just sit around here playing. We cannot play with nobody crutches. Remember back in the day when mama used to say, stop playing with that crutches, or stop playing with that wheelchair. Be careful what you're asking for by doing that. God is saying, I don't want you to sit. I don't want you to be dependent. I don't want you to feel like you can't do. I have created you. You are well equipped to do what I need you to do to run this race. So you gotta be able to say, you know what? It's okay. I'm going to have some painful times, but it doesn't mean a life of pain. My pain will come for a reason. It's to poke me, to stick me, to remind me, to say, hey, wake up, open your eyes, girl. We got to move different. You can't go this way. We already went down that road. That's not the road I'm asking you to travel. You got to auto adjust and recalibrate and come back. Okay, Lord, I got you. And because he didn't build me to walk with a limp. So I'm not going to walk like what I've been through. I'm not going to walk like where I was. I'm not going to carry that. I'll always have the pain point right here to remind me if my body tries to go back to that familiar. But God is saying, no, you won't be walking with no limp, because I ain't build you to walk with a limp. I built you so that you can walk upright, so that you can do what I have called you to do. And understands that Philippians 1 through 6, it says, he who began a good work in you, he'll finish it. So whatever it was might not be in our timing, but he's going to finish that thing. So understand, it doesn't matter about what pain pit stop you're in right now. You have to keep your eyes focused on him so that you can finish the race. He has equipped you for it. Whatever you're supposed to get in that pit stop, pick it up, get it, but don't tarry long. He has not called us to do that. Absolutely, Yolanda. Sometimes it's just to recalibrate. Sometimes we might need an alignment because the tires are wearing here or there. Sometimes we might need some new windshield wipers so we can see very clearly. We can wipe the foolishness out real quick. Whatever it is, get what you need and keep it moving, because he did not call us to be walking and dependent on no crutches, whatever that crutch is. So take the crutch away. If it's a person that's saying, oh, they need me, they can't do it without me, remove that crutch, walk on your own. You can do it. You don't need anybody but God. He has already provided for us. The crutches have to go. Use them for the time that they are appointed and then move on. It's time for us to make the sacrifices that are necessary for us to move into out the season of life that God has called us into. So stop looking back. Stop wondering what if. Stop relying on the old. The old has already shown you that you can't rely on it, but you can rely on him. He'll take care of you, and he's already doing it right now. Family, it's time for us to get unstuck, Yolanda. That's right. We're not going to get stuck. It's time to get unstuck. Drop those crutches and start walking and moving with purpose. The purpose that he has planted inside of you. When you feel like you're doing it on your own, it's time to stop, recalibrate, and say, Lord, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing, but it don't feel good. I need you to remove these thoughts from me. I need a correction. And I'm so grateful that he'll give it to us. Grace, mercy, every day. Not every single day. It's there for us. So, family, I love you. I want you guys to have a fantastic Wednesday. I pray that this word has touched you the way that it touched me, because I know it encouraged me this morning. I have to go back and listen to it again. Remember, today is Wednesday. What does that mean? That means at 9:00 a.m., we tune in for Unfiltered with the BC Wright. That's right. She's going to go live on Facebook as well as YouTube. So I know you've all subscribed at the BC Wright on YouTube. So make sure you tune in, because we're getting double today. We are going to hear from not just Bernadette Clark Wright, but her husband, Derek Wright. So the topic is he said, she said. Y'all better get ready, because I'm going to definitely be tuning in. I love you guys. You have a fantastic day. I pray nothing but blessings over you and your family. And if you're listening to this live later, hey, we come on every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:30 a.m. So tune in with us. Thank you for supporting the Freedom by Design movement. If you want one of these lovely shirts that I'm wearing, you can get your shirt at www.freedombydesign1.com. And stay tuned, because on Friday, I'm going to reveal the name of our YouTube channel, because we're going to start going live as of next week on YouTube and Facebook simultaneously. For those of our friends who don't do Facebook, we coming for them too, so they could be a part of the Freedom by Design movement. Guys, I love you. Love you more, Miss Jerry. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.